to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day, and I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Here we go. It is day 2 of Duck Insider season. Oregon football practicing tomorrow. Media day yesterday. Some festivities that build up to the season continue today. And tomorrow, the Ducks will be on the practice field for the first time in anticipation of that home opener against Montana State. On yesterday's show, we had Dan Lanning here in the Country Financial Studio. Also talked to a number of Oregon football student athletes. That theme continuing today. We'll hear from Coach Lanning, his full preview of fall camp, talking with the media at Media Day. We also have a couple exclusive interviews here in the Country Financial Studio with Isaiah World and Devin Jackson. We had a lot of fun. I got to tell you, stick around for our interview with Devin Jackson because Devin Jackson is probably the fastest guy on the team. He's at least in the top 3. He would tell you he's the fastest on the team. And we had a little bit of fun figuring out if Devin Jackson was faster than various things in the animal kingdom. Do you think that Devin Jackson is faster than an ostrich, than a cheetah? Maybe he's faster than a lion? I will tell you he's faster than a squirrel. We found that out. He's also faster than an elephant. That's coming up today on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. But without further ado, nobody cares what I think. Let's hear what the head coach thinks. Oregon football head coach Dan Lanning, his full press conference. We didn't get to it yesterday since he was here in the studio. We kick off our second edition of Duck Insider with Coach Lanning at the podium.
Yeah, season 4, a lot of things to be excited about for this team. You know, I spoke a lot on it on Media Day just this past week, but certainly thrilled to be back at work. It's fun to see the guys in the building. Excited to see about, you know, what questions we're able to answer this fall camp. I know our guys are ready to work. That being said, we can open it up for questions.
Couple days out, Dan, kind of what are some of your big picture thoughts going into this one and maybe kind of expectations for this group?
You know, it never really changes season to season. There's an excitement just because it's a new group. You want to see what they embrace, what they want to attack. I think everyone's day one is always elite. There's always, you know, there might be some mistakes, but they're mistakes that are made at full speed. I know that's going to happen with us. You know, more than anything, I'm just ready to attack it and figure out what we're really great at, what we got to improve at. That's the fun part for me is what problems do we get to solve.
Dan, it looked like there's a few over the 105. Just how many DSAs were there and how you went about managing that?
Probably won't hop into that. I don't know the exact number for you.
With it being your second year in the Big Ten, you're still having to face a lot of new opponents that this program hasn't really seen in a long time or in the regular season. Just what do you like about the way that your staff approached the preparation for those new opponents, and what are you hoping to kind of bring into, again, this season, going to a lot of new places and hosting some new opponents?
Yeah, you talk about what to expect in year 2, and like you said, there's going to be several teams that we didn't play this past year. We got a unbelievable advanced scouting group. You know, Tyler Dean, his staff, they do a ton for us as far as just hopping ahead to be able to evaluate what do these teams look like, who have they added, who have they lost, what coaching turnover do they have. And we do a kind of a summer scouting report on each one of those teams to give us a little bit of a feel for what are they going to look like, what do we need to be prepared for when we get to those points in the season. And kind of the way our bye weeks have fallen this next year, it's a little bit different than last year where they're so spread out. It's almost like you have individual seasons there where you can kind of prepare for what's new with each opponent. But some new venues that we're going to be traveling to, whether it's traveling to Rutgers or Iowa or Penn State, some, you know, Northwestern, those will all be new for us. So those will be new experiences that I'm excited for our guys to be able to handle and attack.
Coach, good to see you. The secondary is a group that a lot of fans are excited about this year. A couple of veteran guys, and Dylan and Jaden, that are coming over, but a lot of young guys are going to probably be called on to step up this year. What do you kind of need to see from some of those young guys to ultimately be confident and putting them out there?
Yeah, we feel like there's a level of play, right? That you're either above the line or really below the line. As many guys as we can find that can do that, we want to find roles for them, right? And that it's going to look different week 1 than it'll look week 6, right? There were guys that were involved for us at the end of the season. Kingston Lopez is a great example. Is a guy that learned throughout the year and then was able to have a big role for us in the Big Ten championship this past season. So it'll change over time, but ultimately, this group looks a lot like you want it to look as far as size, speed, athleticism. It's our job now to get them caught up to where they can execute at a high level.
Right here on the right, Lydia.
Lots of roster turnover this year and a lot of younger players or less experienced players stepping into larger roles. What are the advantages of having those players on the field who might not have as much on tape for other programs in the conference to see?
Yeah, and I don't know the exact numbers, but, comparative to roster turnover, like our first year, I think it was over 50 players. I think our second year is over 40. So there's turnover, but in a different way. Like we sent a lot of guys onto the NFL and a lot of opportunities. That doesn't mean the guys behind them aren't going to be those same, quality players. Every year we've had more get the opportunity to go play at the league. So I think you're going to see some faces that are certainly capable of that. But it starts at what they do at Oregon. So that's part of what we got to figure out, right? There's some turnover. There's some new learning. Maybe you peel back a little bit less on the install, but you're also afforded so much time in the summer and the spring to really get a jump on what you want to be able to accomplish and what you want to be able to learn. So our guys, we have a big volume. We have a lot of stuff on offense, a lot of stuff on defense, special teams that we're going to be able to incorporate this year, and it's about what they can handle and getting them ready for those moments.
Kind of touching on that, you recently talked about the confidence in a lot of guys that are going to be playing for their first opportunity for the public to kind of see them. Where does that confidence come from? Where do you feel like this team's still going to be where they were last year, but with new faces?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's what we have to figure out. But, you look at competitive sports, you look at guys that have a lot of success, and a lot of it comes on with, competition anxiety, right? And then lack of confidence. That's where people fail. So our goal within fall camp is how can we create the same anxiety you'd have on game day? How can we make practice look as much as possible like a game? And how can we build confidence in what guys do well? And that's part of our job as coaches. It's about having belief in players that the next play is the most important play. And our guys, when they get their fuel from internally, intrinsically, rather than externally, I think that's when they perform their best. So that's really the goal this fall.
Coach, you talked a lot about, obviously, the goals. I'm just wondering, year over year, how much are the goals of this program to your leadership stay the same? And how do you maybe add new goals to kind of change the flavor and keep things kind of progressing and moving along each year that you're a head coach here within this program?
Well, I think everything in football is about learning different ways to say the same thing over and over again, right? To make sure that it's interesting and exciting for your team. Ultimately, winning football is winning football. That's been really consistent. What's the new run scheme in the league that we haven't seen? That's what's different, right? So you have to be great at stopping the run and great at running the ball, right? We know that. So that's the goal that stays the same, right? We want to be able to be a team that can rush consistently for over 5 yards per carry. We want to be a team on defense that can hold people under 3.3 yards per rush, right? So that stays the same. What's going to change is how do you do it? So I think the goals, they're consistently the same. There's some of those goals that we've hit in the past and some that we hadn't, but that tells you quickly, okay, this is an area that we want to attack. This is something we got to do better this season. So ultimately, a lot of it's the same. The process of getting there might be a little bit different, but the process in itself is also the same.
Your first year out, you win the Big Ten. How do you top that, and what's a successful season in your eyes this year?
I get asked that question every year, and for me, it's always the same. What's the best version of us? If we're playing our best football, if we're being the best that we can possibly be, then that's something I'm excited about. And the results kind of take care of themselves. What's our goal? I mean, we have high standards. We came here to win championships. Obviously, we got an opportunity to taste that last year with the Big Ten championship. We want to win them all, not just some of them, right? But that's also not football. That's not very common. It's hard to do. So biggest goal is to be uncommon, right? To do things that other people can't do, and we have to figure out who we are to get there.
Obviously, the first couple games last year, you guys were winning, but you may not have looked the way you wanted to, and then you were able to make those early adjustments to go on to have the perfect season. What does a turnaround like that do for you as a coach going forward as you continue to coach these teams?
Yeah, it's unique. You always want to start fast, right? I think also you look at the end of the season, you realize all of a sudden, man, Boise State was a pretty good team, right? They're a team that's playing in the college football playoff. You know, Idaho is a good team at their level. Certainly, we want to be able to play to our standard, not base it off of somebody else. But you learn a lot of things about your team, and most seasons you are going to experience some form of adversity. It's about how your team handles that. And I thought our guys handled it really well early in the season. We're able to, kind of get in sequence, in gear. That's always going to happen. We had a new quarterback last year. We're going to have that again, right? So there's going to be some growing pains as we grow as a team. The key is you hope you can grow through wins and not through losses.
Reflecting back on last year and just thinking of like improvement of process, is there anything that really stood out to you as something that you would have loved to do better, and how are you looking to implement that this year?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we want to improve and get better at. Probably not a lot of things that I would share with y'all. But yeah, there's a lot of things we want to do better.
Dan, you mentioned last week reaching out to Dabo and interacting with him for, I think, the first time. How much of that was set up with Corey, and how much of that was kind of picking his brain regarding messaging versus practice and process?
It really wasn't set up through anybody else. Like every year I kind of challenge myself to find some people to touch base with, and he was kind enough to touch base back, So there's a lot of people that have done the game at a really high level that I want to be able to pick their brain. We really talked about all things program, right? Not necessarily messaging, but all things organizationally, why he thought he was able to, have some of the success that he's had over the years and what separated some of his team. So really appreciate his insight.
Coach, losing Evan obviously hurts because not only is he a talented player, but he's a guy with starting experience in this offense. But what excites you about the opportunity that it gives to other guys in that receiver room?
Well, it never excites you to see a player get injured, right? That never excites you. But I do think we'd be lying if we said there wasn't an opportunity now for other guys to be able to step up and create a role for themselves. So I'm excited to see how that all plays out. I have a lot of confidence in that room. I have a lot of confidence in Coach Douglas, Coach Stein, and what they do with our offense. But part of that's figuring it out through fall camp.
Coach, with Jeff heading to the NFL now, it sounds like we'll probably see at least one new guy emerge as a contributor at linebacker. Whether we're talking about Jerry, Braden, Kamar, Dylan, what have you seen from those guys and their development and taking that next step?
Well, guys just worked really hard this summer. I think our guys have put in a lot of work. As far as production over the summer workouts, I think we've seen as much is from a measurable standpoint as we've ever seen since we've been here. Coach Love and his staff did a great job. There's going to be some linebackers that get an opportunity to have a role. And I've been at places where you're playing 5 linebackers, right? I've been at places where you're playing 2. So a lot of that's going to be based on what they're able to do this fall, within fall camp and then throughout the season, right? You want guys that continue to grow.
Timeout with Coach Lanning. We'll come back. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. More from the Oregon football head coach, all of his thoughts previewing camp. It starts tomorrow, first practice tomorrow afternoon. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Summer, enter for a chance to win great outdoor gear at DearSummerSweeps.com. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents in select Oregon and Southwest Washington zip codes. 18 plus years of age and take 425 to 11:59 p.m. PT. Void where prohibited. For complete rules, visit DearSummerSweeps.com.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Summer, enter for a chance to win great outdoor gear at DearSummerSweeps.com. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents in select Oregon and Southwest Washington zip codes. 18 plus years of age and take 425 to 11:59 p.m. PT. Void where prohibited. For complete rules, visit DearSummerSweeps.com.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council. The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio. Coming up, we're going to hear from Isaiah World. We'll also hear from Devin Jackson. We sat down with them here in the studio yesterday as part of Media Day. We continue, though, with Oregon football head coach Dan Lanning. Coming into this part of his press conference, he was asked about competition and what it takes to be a starter, but then how do you get playing time for guys throughout camp at each position group? Interesting question as we continue with Coach Lanning.
Yeah, I would just say every position on our team is open, right? And what I'm looking for is who performs the best. And then if you have 4 guys that can perform at a level that's worth, performing at, a winning level, that they do it a great job, the people around them play better, then that's going to create an opportunity for them.
If you could put it into words, what's the central theme going into the season?
I kind of said it the other day, but double down, right? And that can't be misconstrued with the difference of growth, because growth is really important, but you look at our team over time and you say, man, this process has worked, right? We've gotten better every single year. We've won more games. We've played competitive football at a really high level. So the process works. How can we do the process better than anybody else? The pieces that'll change within that process is, about us as coaches and us as players figuring out what we do best and what's going to be really tough on our opponents.
Coach, I thought it was really interesting at Media Day. You talked about the service your players have had on the community, how many hours you put in. I'm just wondering, how does, making players better people have an impact on the field, and why is that important to you? Do you feel like to have that within them?
Well, the only thing that I probably get graded on in my job here is if we win or lose, right? But personally, how do I grade myself? Are these guys walking out the door better humans, right? Are they going to be great fathers, great husbands someday, people that you want in your community, people that business owners want to hire or create their own businesses? I think service has got to be at the heart of what every one of us is about, right? And some people say it, right? Some people it's about having a camera in their face when they're doing something, but for us it's a little bit more than that. And our guys embrace that. I challenged Usman when he first joined our program in player personnel that I want to have a group that does more community, they've ever done here at Oregon than it's done around the nation. Like, that's really important to me. And Carl, that entire staff has done a really good job of finding opportunities for our guys to be able to give back. And every one of our players realize that they're unbelievably blessed, to be a part of what we do. And part of that's also preparing them for their future and their opportunity to give back. When you have blessings, you got to bless back.
You mentioned it earlier that the guys that have left the program, those guys left because they went pro, or they just simply ran out of eligibility. Roster retention's a big thing right now, and your program didn't see a lot of players' eligibility leave with their choosing. Why is that going to be a big factor for this team moving forward, and how critical is just roster retention for any program?
Yeah, retention's huge, and I think that's something we've done really well since I've been here. Thinking about going into year 4 now, I don't think we've lost a starter to the transfer portal. I think that speaks to a lot of things. Their players enjoy being here. They feel like they're getting developed. They feel a real connection on our team. I think that's super important, because ultimately the players that are on your roster are going to make more of an impact than the players that are joining your roster. And we have some great players that have joined our roster that I think will make a big impact, but the foundation starts with the people that are here and how they grow and what they become.
You have a pretty huge game coming up at the end of September. Is that game, or is there another game you're most excited about traveling or going to?
Montana State's the one I'm most excited about. That's your coach speak for the day.
Talk a bit about Kenyon Sadiq and what your expectations are for him going forward, as well as the impact he's had so far.
I think Kenyon's one of the most dynamic players in college football. And he's just grown and gotten better every single year that he's been here. What I love that I'm starting to see show up in Kenyon that I haven't seen as much of before is the leadership traits that are starting to develop. And I think things that I used to say about Terrence Ferguson or Pat Herbert, right, guys that have been here before, now I'm starting to say those same things about Kenyon, the way he takes the field, the way he works in practice drills, the effort to film, all those pieces are really adding up. But Kenyon's always been an unbelievable player. I think this will be a great season for him to have a coming out party.
Dan, there seems to be a real divide in terms of perception and reality with Bayer, nationally speaking, about the transfers going back to his high school era about work ethic. Some would say he quit on SC last season. Yet all of his former SC teammates, including those in the league, rave about him, talk about how smart he is and how hard he works. Lincoln raved about him. If a guy quit on a team, that wouldn't be the case. They wouldn't. Former teammates, coaches wouldn't respect it. When you see it every day, when your relationship goes back with him as many years as you do, what is it that the nation isn't seeing from this young man that earns that respect, even if it hasn't worked out at a couple of spots?
Well, Bear's worked his tail off since he's been here, and I think he understands the perception that's out there. And like you said, perception isn't always reality. He puts in more time when it comes to film study, when it comes to extra work, than almost anybody in our program. And I think that speaks to his commitment. I also think he realized, hey, this is an opportunity for me to really set the stage for what am I going to be defined as moving forward. And he realizes, everybody wants individual success, but I think Bear's one of those guys that realizes that comes through team success. He's a guy that understands what standard looks like. And there was some in between there for him, but I think he felt really comfortable coming here, knowing that what it was like at Georgia and how could he recreate some of that experience coming to a place like Oregon. The relationship there certainly mattered. I'm excited to see what Bear does. He's worked his tail off since he's been here. He's been, a pleasure to coach. He's going to have some up and down moments like every player in our program will when they get here. But so far, I'm really pleased with what I've seen from Bear. I'm excited to see what he's able to do out there on the field for us this year.
Dan, we know you're a defensive guy, obviously, but as a head coach, you have to have some sort of role with the offense as well. How do you kind of like to attack that and leave your mark on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, I think there's certain standards you talk about, like the identity of a program. And what's important to me is we have an identity, right? And regardless of who our offensive coordinator has been, Will's done an unbelievable job now going into year 3. The offensive staff, like you talk about continuity, we have a lot of that right now across the board with our staff. What I learned from Coach Saban was just the attention to detail of where's your time spent and how do you use it, and whether it's a meeting with offensive staff on a Monday night or a Tuesday night for a third down red area or a Wednesday night to go over game, like we have that kind of laid out to where I know I can be a part of it. And I want to see their creativity. I want to see an offensive staff and our offensive game plan be something that changes over time that's difficult to defend, but they know what I feel really strong about, and they know where I'm like, hey, go be creative. Let's see what we can come up with. And some of the best offensive coaches I've ever been around, whether it's visiting with Andy Reid or seeing some of the things that we've done at places I've been in the past, I think you have to look for ways to step outside the box, but don't lose the central framework of it's about players, it's about matchups, it's about executing at a really high level, and those are the things that we've been able to do here the last few years.
Coach, with some new faces at key positions, especially coming in at quarterback, we talked a little bit about Kenyon Sadiq being a key target. Talk to me about the chemistry that your skilled players are building with their new quarterbacks and what you hope to see, how you hope to see that grow throughout fall camp.
Yeah, it happens through fall camp, right? So there's been some of that this summer. These guys have had some throwing sessions this summer. They've had some stuff this spring, but this is where you really have to get into a rhythm. And early on, we've always done it. I love seeing different people out there with different groups so we can mix the groups up and figure out who's going to excel, who's a difference maker in that 11 guys that are on the field, who's a guy that makes the people around him better. And then there's that piece of finding rhythm once you start to identify those people. So we'll work with several guys out there on the field, several guys thrown to different people throughout fall camp, and then we'll settle into a group that we feel like gives us the best chance.
Dan, if you could reflect back to your first season compared to this one, specifically at the receiver position, you've overhauled a lot of position groups, and this roster is now 100% guys that either you signed or brought in via the portal. But in that year, there were experienced guys, maybe didn't have a ton of production, and a lot of young guys, to now kind of a similar situation. Can you speak to the similarities that there may or may not be, and how much Junior did to help morph that room and bring it to where it is, and what Ross can do to put his stamp on it now, and what he's already doing on the recruiting trail going forward?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's been some great wideouts to play at Oregon, but I don't think that's something that Oregon's ever necessarily been known for. And you look over the last few years at some of the guys that have been performing for us, whether it's going back to like Troy, right, or what Tez has done more recently. Like we've been able to have some real success with our wideouts. And I even think back to that, the beginning years of early guys like Chase Cota that made such an impact just because of the way he carried himself, what kind of leader he was. And then obviously Junior did a great job with talent acquisition and developing relationships in that room. I'm a big fan of June. Excited to see what he does with the Cowboys. But Ross has a new challenge, and he's certainly up to that challenge. You look at how he coaches, the details that he puts in it, the experience he's had, whether it's with the Patriots or Syracuse, or even his experience of being on the defensive side of the ball, earlier in his career. I think all those things are going to really pay dividends for our guys this season. And we have some of that same thing again. We have some young guys, and then we have some guys that have a lot of experience or at least a lot of time in that room, whether it's Gary Bryant or Justice Lowe, guys that have been in there for a long time, know what it looks like. And then some young guys that are going to be coming up and have an opportunity to make an impact.
That's Oregon football head coach Dan Lanning meeting with the media. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. When we return, a few different student athletes came through the studio yesterday. And we've got Isaiah World chatting with us in the Country Financial Studio when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Practice continuing on campus. And as we say that out loud, I'm reminded that it's Oregon Volleyball Media Day across the Big Ten. Now, there's multiple days of volleyball media days, but today, the Ducks went. Trent Kirsten and a couple student athletes previewed the season as their practices get underway. Today is also the first day of practice for Oregon soccer. They practiced this morning at Pape Field. We are into practice season, and it begins for Oregon football tomorrow. As we welcome you back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Devin Jackson coming up, and this segment, Isaiah World. What an awesome guy Isaiah World. Has been through a lot in his life, and we had an awful lot of fun getting to know a new addition to this team. There's a lot of new faces for Oregon football as they start practice tomorrow, and we got to know one of them in Isaiah World. Offensive lineman. I'll tell you, it was fun, too, to talk with him before we sat down for this conversation. And I just said, hey, like, so tell me about yourself, you know? Like, what have you done before being here at Oregon? One of the things he said actually is that he thought he was going to be a basketball player. Most of his life thought he was going to be a basketball player. So we ended up talking about that among many other things with Isaiah World here in the studio. First time in the studio. Great to have you, Isaiah World. Okay, I have to start here and I have to ask you, do you know how cool your last name is?
I hear about it a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like it comes up all the time?
Yeah, pretty, like everywhere I go, they're like, oh, wow, I love your last name.
It's a great last name.
Yeah.
It's a great last name. So as a broadcaster, I fully admit I am not the punniest broadcaster in the world, but every one of us is just going like, thank you to the universe for this wonderful last name. There are so many puns. I mean, you can literally, Isaiah, move the world on the offensive line. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done. I got it out of my system. But you embrace it. It
Yeah.
sounds like. You have fun with it.
I mean, I like the puns.
Do you?
Yeah, I like puns.
Challenge accepted. So you thought you were a basketball player?
I thought I was a hooper.
Really?
Well, I'm still a hooper. It's in your heart, but I thought I could go far with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you still get to play enough? That
I mean, I'll be going to the rec sometimes.
Yeah.
We be hooping it up and down over there at the gym.
You play the 4, you play the 5, or are you the big guy that plays the 1?
Yeah, I can stretch the floor.
Yeah.
So I can play anywhere. I could go play a 7-foot big, or I could go clamp up a 6-foot guard. It don't matter.
You are the modern positionless basketball
Right,
player.
right.
See,
I almost feel like I could have set the trail, but
there's still time.
right.
After a long NFL career, you make that transition,
Right.
Michael Jordan style, like he did to baseball. I like where your head's at. So I'm curious too, with that basketball background, how much did that help? I've heard before, it helps with footwork and all the things on the line. How much has that helped you in your career?
I think it definitely helped me a lot. I'm definitely my lateral movement is just I think it helped so much because I had to, like I said, I had to guard point guards all the way up to 7-foot people, and I think just being able to move laterally helps a lot when you play football. I think it came easy to me when I stepped on the field. It was pretty easy. Yeah. I started off as a D lineman first, believe it or not.
So you know all the tricks.
Right.
Do offensive linemen hold on every play?
You
gotta say no. You're an lineman now. You gotta say no.
I guess it's subjective.
Yeah.
To what side of the ball you on.
So it's funny because I always ask D linemen and they're like, yes.
Yeah.
And O linemen are like, of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the game.
Right.
It's part of the game. All right, a successful camp for you.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? What's a successful camp for you here in a few weeks?
I think just staying consistent, trying to stay ahead on my prehab and rehab. God willing, no injuries. Just staying on my playbook and fully understanding the playbook all around. I want to learn and see the field how my coach sees it. So definitely a lot of board work with the coach and just tight communication between me and Coach Terry, and just going out there and being a dog, man, going to play, because I know I'm hungry. It's been a while for me, so I like going out there and just the thrill of playing, smashing dudes in their face.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'll leave you with this because you've been asked and you've talked about why come to Oregon, but I'm curious now too. You mentioned the hunger. What's it been like being here so far? How's it been as you get ready for a camp here with the Ducks?
Everything is advertised, honestly. Everything that's been shown, the results from last year, it's all the same. It's just staying consistent with the process, as Coach Lanning said, because everything is a process, and just being able to stay with it every day, being consistent day in, day out, just doing whatever you need to. It's gonna get. I know it's gonna get hard, but I mean, that's what I'm here for. I find comfortability. I can't say that word, but I'm comfortable with all the hard stuff.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Well, hey, on behalf of all Duck fans, we're glad you chose Oregon.
Yes, sir.
We're glad you're here. Isaiah World, thanks for the time, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so since we talked with Isaiah, I got to be honest, I got a couple emails from people that were like, okay, if he likes the puns, now you got to come up with some on the broadcast and on the show. I'm open to all of the world puns that you have, but for an offensive lineman, when you get to just move the world, it just writes itself. Just writes itself. How do you not root for that guy, too? So glad that he decided to come to Oregon. What a great, awesome guy. Easy to root for. Looking forward to seeing him and this entire offensive line on the field, especially after they were a finalist for the Remington Trophy, for the Joe Moore Award last year. And then this year, we're already talking about guys that are on the Remington Award watch list, the Outland Trophy watch list. More on watch list season, as I call it. There's like a slew of watch lists that come out here at the end of the summer and into camp. And a lot of Ducks are showing up on these national award watch lists. And the offensive line, no strangers to those watch lists. And remember, the Joe Moore Award is cool because it recognizes an entire unit. And the offensive line always is thought about as a unit. You don't see one individual O-lineman winning a lot of awards unless the entire O-line is really good. I love the Joe Moore Award. I think it's so cool that there's a award out there that recognizes a cohesive unit. And the Ducks have had a lot of good ones under Alik Terry and in years past, but especially this group I think has a chance to be pretty special. But a couple offensive linemen, including Isaiah World, showing up on some of those preseason watch lists that we'll tell you about coming up in a little bit here on Duck Insider. When we return in the Country Financial Studio, Devin Jackson joins us. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Summer, enter for a chance to win great outdoor gear at DearSummerSweeps.com. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents in select Oregon and Southwest Washington zip codes. 18 plus years of age and take 425 to 1159 PM PT. Void where prohibited. For complete rules, visit DearSummerSweeps.com.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Dear Summer, enter for a chance to win great outdoor gear at DearSummerSweeps.com. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents in select Oregon and Southwest Washington zip codes. 18 plus years of age and take 425 to 1159 PM PT. Void where prohibited. For complete rules, visit DearSummerSweeps.com.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union here in the Country Financial Studio. Joey Mack with you. Just heard from Isaiah World. Now let's chat with Devin Jackson. We've had a little fun with Devin because he is so fast. So just a little context. I think by all accounts he's one of, if not the fastest guys on the team. Was a track guy, now a football player, has played a lot at the inside linebacker spot, and figures to have a bigger role this year with Jeff Bossa now moving on in his career. And Devin Jackson was a lot of fun having him in the Country Financial Studio for the first time. As part of our Media Day Oregon football practice launch, Devin Jackson here with us on the show. Now, this is your first time in the studio. That means we have a tradition. You ready?
What's the tradition?
Okay. See over there, if you squint through the lights, there's a whiteboard. It says the 2-minute life story. So you got to tell us your 2-minute life story. What is the life story of one Devin Jackson in 2 minutes? Now, we are competitive. I'm going to time you. And I'm hoping that you end up beating Casey Rogers at 2:03.86.
Sheesh.
I'm hoping you end up beating Bo Nix's minute 53.03.
What's the shortest you ever had?
The best I ever had was a minute 59.56 because the goal is as close to 2 minutes as possible. So that was the best. But your question of the shortest I ever had was Oregon baseball head coach Mark Wazakowski in 3 seconds.
3 seconds?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He was like, I don't know what to say. I don't want to do that. And that was it. That was the entire thing. So you ready?
What's the shortest from a player?
Gosh, I'm looking at Chris. I can't. Probably like 30 seconds.
All right.
I mean, you know, like.
All right.
I'll put it this way. The 18-year-old, it's harder to fill 2 minutes when you're 18 compared to like 70.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1.
My name is Devin Jackson. I was born in Champaign, Illinois. Moved to Omaha, Nebraska when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
Started off playing baseball, actually. So I was a T-ball baseball guy. When I moved to Omaha, I missed the baseball cut. So then I started running track. And that's how I got into track. And then from then on, someone saw me running track, went to football, then did football and ran track my whole life till I got to college. Went to Burke High School, came out to Eugene, Oregon. I'm a sociology major. I'm an inside linebacker. Yeah.
45 seconds.
Okay, so not terrible.
Not terrible. No, that was good.
Not terrible.
That was good. No, I'm telling you, I mean it when I say, like, it is much easier to fill 2 minutes the older you get.
Yeah.
Right? Like, after a 10-year NFL career, you're going to be able to be like, 2 minutes, I got this.
Yeah.
Right? I have multiple follow-up questions, though.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, baseball, what position?
Don't even remember. It was T-ball. Like, it was so young. Bruh, I was like 8 or 9. I can't even remember that far back.
All right.
But I literally just remember when we moved to Nebraska. So there were some details I missed. So my mom's from Nebraska. My mom's side of the family's from Nebraska. So that's why I moved there.
Okay.
My dad's side of the family's from Chicago.
Right.
But they both went to the University of Illinois. So that's why I was born in Champaign. But so we moved to Nebraska, and we missed the baseball cut. Like I said, it was so far, I remember probably outfield or something. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
So somewhere where they put the fast people.
I was going to say, so with your speed,
That's somewhere with the fast people.
You know. All right, now, track. Okay. Now, there's been much discussion in your life about your speed on a football field, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So can you just remind fans, like, what's the capped miles per hour? I mean, what's the fastest you've been clocked? Do we know?
I do know. So the fastest I've ever been clocked here was 23.5. And so actually 2 weeks ago I ran 22.9, but I'm also 239.
Okay.
So like when I ran that
different
23.5, I was like 220, maybe 25. I doubt it. But now I'm, basically 240, but I'm still running almost 23.
Okay, so I have a question. I'm curious. Do you think that you are faster than a cheetah?
A cheetah?
Cheetah.
No.
Okay, yeah, that's
No.
right. Cheetahs are about 50 miles an hour.
There's no way.
Okay, do you think you're faster than a tiger?
No.
Okay, I'm doing live Googling right now.
No way.
You're close.
Ooh, what is it?
Tigers are about 30 miles an hour.
Ooh.
Depending on the tiger.
I'll still get caught, but
yeah, you'll get caught. But
I'll last longer than everybody else, though.
That's the thing. You just gotta not be last.
Yeah, I can't be
right?
last. Yeah.
Okay. What about a lion? You think lions are faster than tigers?
I don't think so.
Lions are faster than tigers. 50 miles an hour.
Way.
What? Way. Okay, now here's one that I was genuinely curious about. Do you think you're faster than an ostrich?
Yeah.
No.
No way.
43 miles an hour, Devin.
That big old bird.
An ostrich goes 43 miles an hour. But they run continuous speeds of about 30 miles an hour. So maybe,
I'm still cooked, but I last longer than probably
most
both of y'all.
people.
Yeah.
Most people. So I went down this rabbit hole of is Devin Jackson faster than? I didn't know if anyone had ever done that for you before, and if not, then I just hope that we've started a new segment that we can have you be faster than a bunch of different things.
Ooh, yeah, no one's ever done that for me.
Okay. This is now a new social media trend. Devin Jackson is faster than. insert here, and I'll let you take it from here.
Ooh, what do I think I'm faster than?
Yeah. And I will literally look it up right now.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think of like a land animal that would even. I feel like I'm faster than like a coyote or something.
All right, let's find out.
Yeah.
Are you faster than a coyote? Speed of a coyote, 35 miles an hour.
Never mind.
Oof. Okay, wait.
Dang.
I got one. I'm just going to go faster than a dog. Ooh.
I feel like, yeah.
German Shepherd, 30 miles an hour. I feel like 30 miles an hour is a very common animal kingdom speed.
That's like, come on.
What I'm figuring out here. Greyhounds go 45 miles an hour. Okay.
That's crazy.
That is. I'm actually surprised. But what else you got?
I'm faster than the cat. I gotta
You
be
are
faster
than a cat.
I gotta be.
Ooh.
No.
Look, I'm just trusting.
Bro, come on. Not a cat?
I am trusting Google. The maximum speed of a cat is 30 miles an hour.
Man, what kind of cat is this?
Now, that was only for a 2-second period.
Bro, yeah. Come on, man. Get out of here.
But that's the maximum speed. So, anyway. You're still faster than like every other human.
That's crazy.
But you're faster than like every other human.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So, anyway. I went down this rabbit hole, like I said, and thank you for being here for our game of Is Devin Jackson Faster Than.
I can't believe I'm slower than a cat.
Cats move quick, man.
That's crazy.
Like you hear about the quickness and the agility of a cat.
Yeah.
You know. I think though that there's something here. I mean, we could just start having your speed and then like Mario Kart Ghost driver style right behind you.
I like that.
So, this is my suggestion of how we just make you a social media bona fide star.
I appreciate that.
We can do it.
I'm gonna write that down.
You ready for football now?
I'm ready.
Great. What's a successful fall camp? What's it look like for you?
Man, just being the best me I can be. Showing up every day, being there for my guys, being out there, you know, letting the guys know that I got them and they got me, and trusting each other, continue to trust each other, and just go out there and just have elite effort.
Yeah. What was your summer like? I mean, you talked about a little bit like your speed, but with a different body type. I mean, how's that been in your career? Just figuring out what's that right combo for you.
Definitely been a journey. Definitely tried to put on weight before, and it's like, oh, it didn't really feel right. Maybe it was put on a different way. And bad way for me, right? Like, obviously, like, everybody's different. Like, we did a DEXA scan like 2-3 weeks ago. It's still 10% body fat, but it's just like, yeah, bro. It's on a slight day, but yeah, like just keep trying to put on weight. Like, what was it? And I found the right like method for me, and now, like I said, I'm 240 now and still moving.
That's the goal, right? I mean, you know, I was curious too to think about like, because I feel like a linebacker gets asked to do so much defensively. You know, you're gonna go up and support in the run, then you got to cover somebody. You know, like that's. Like, I feel like that's got to be a difficult balance to find that versatility, you know. But I don't know. Am I right, I guess, is my question in that.
Definitely, for sure. I mean, you know, we got a strike lineman come downhill, be able to guard running backs, tight ends. I mean, even certain defenses like, you know, man-match defenses or whatever, you got to, you know, guard number 3, you know, like slot receivers. You definitely are asked to do a lot, you know, but that's also why we have the room we have, the talent we have, and the guys are smart enough and like they can live up to the task.
Yeah,
that's why we got the room that we have.
Now I'm curious too, because you've now been through this a few times, right? Like, has your outlook of camp changed? Like, does it feel different now? Like, kind of as more of a veteran guy on this team.
I mean, camp sucks no matter where you're at.
Really,
it's long.
It's a grind.
It's a grind. It's long days. But what is different from when I was a freshman to, you know, now, probably what most guys will say is that the routine.
Yeah.
Right? When you're a freshman, you kind of, at least for me, I can't speak for nobody else. Like, I didn't really have a routine. It was kind of just like, I'm just trying to make it through the day, man.
Sure.
Like, my body's hurting. I'm tired. I've never been tired like this before. But that tiredness doesn't really go away. You just learn to deal with it and, you know, take care of your body and the ways you're supposed to.
Right. Okay, now we every week do the football coaches show. So Coach Lanning comes in every week. So I've been asking all of you guys that have come into the studio, what's something that I should ask Coach Lanning this year? Like, what's something that we should bring up to Coach as a question that you would want to answer?
Man, hold on. I do want to answer one. Who the fastest on the team is?
Okay.
Because,
Here we go.
It should be me. But I guarantee you, I probably won't be brought up first immediately.
Really?
I think
you usually get brought up pretty quickly.
I don't know. I think he'll probably say Kenyon first, which is crazy. He's not faster than me. I don't care. Yeah, I know you just – no, he's not faster than me. Like, we're not even going to – he's not faster than me. Corium, he might – yeah, he's up there. He can move. I feel like he'll say, like, Noah. He can move too, but it's like – yeah, I want to know who he think the fastest on the team is.
I'll ask him.
In the 40. Make it specific,
In the 40?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to write it down. In the 40. Now, to bring this full circle, though, I have collected a list of things that you are, in fact, faster than. Are you ready? Okay, you are definitely faster than a parentine lizard. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me either.
You're faster than a blue jay.
Okay.
You're faster than a blue jay. You're faster than an elephant.
Okay.
That's good.
I can outrun that.
Right. You are also faster than a leatherback sea turtle.
Wow.
You're faster than a black mamba. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
To be faster than a black mamba. You are, in fact, faster than a squirrel, a chicken, a viper, a beetle, a whale, a crab. The rest of them aren't as exciting.
Dang.
There's a lot of things there, though. You're also faster than, according to Google, the average human.
What's the average human?
The average human, the world record, according to Google, is 23.1 miles an hour.
Whoa.
So
that
puts it in context, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll return with Devin Jackson is, in fact, faster than. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being here.
Of course.
Thanks, Devin. That was fun. I'm so appreciative of Devin having some fun with that because it's been a question that he gets asked a lot. Like, how fast do you go? And I thought, okay, there's something fun here. And he had some fun with it, which is great. Looking forward to a big season for Devin Jackson. When we come back, a lot of awards this time of year. I'll tell you, everyone would say that they don't really care if they're on the watch list. They just want to be on the finalist list and maybe be the winner at the end. We'll see if some of these Ducks do that. Award season when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you inside the Country Financial Studio. 6 members of the Oregon football team were named to the preseason watch list for major awards on Tuesday. 3 Ducks recognized for both the Bronco Nagurski Trophy and the Outland Trophy. We begin with the Nagurski Trophy. Inside linebacker Bryce Betcher, defensive back Dylan Thieneman, and outside linebacker Mateo Uyunglele were all selected to the preseason watch list for the Bronco Nagurski Trophy. It recognizes the most outstanding defensive player in college football. On the offensive side, offensive lineman Iapani Pancho Lalulu, Emmanuel Pregnon, and Isaiah World were named to the preseason watch list for the Outland Trophy. That honors the nation's top interior linemen. Everyone says you win in the trenches. Nice to have some recognition in the trenches heading into the season. Also, if you missed it yesterday, Mekhi Hughes was on the Maxwell Award watch list. That recognizes the outstanding player in college football. Mekhi Hughes has been garnering a lot of preseason attention, put up big numbers previously, and now I think we're all excited to see what he can do in Will Stein's offense. If there's one thing that's been consistent with Will Stein as Oregon's offensive coordinator, it's been explosive plays. And Mekhi Hughes is a guy out of the backfield that feels like he fits in well. I'm excited to see him throughout practice this week and heading into the season. The reigning Big Ten champs open fall camp tomorrow, Wednesday, in preparation for the 2025 season, which opens at home against Montana State on Saturday, August 30th. It is a 1 o'clock broadcast, televised on the Big Ten Network. 11 a.m. is when our pregame show gets underway. Tomorrow on Duck Insider, Kyler Casper and Dylan Thieneman. We did not get to their interviews yet from our Media Day tour. We'll have those tomorrow on the program. And we've yet to dive into any of the, what I'll call the general Media Day interviews, when everyone was standing up in the club at Autzen in front of a backdrop and answering a bunch of different questions. We've got a slew of those for you still to come on Duck Insider. Practice will be in the afternoon for the first couple weeks, week and a half or so of fall camp, which means that we'll have our Quack Minutes for you coming each evening after practice, a look at what was said about practice and everything that goes on as we get ready for a new season. Oh, it's almost August. It's going to be here before you know it. Also, Volleyball Media Day is continuing. We'll have more updates tomorrow. It's here. See you tomorrow.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize